saw the pictures this morning, Daniel. Two 8-pointers.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, that was our place.
Yeah.
Samuel took a shot at the big one, probably the biggest one that we've seen on the property.
Did he handle that recoil okay?
He handled the recoil. He couldn't handle missing though.
What's he shooting with?
That's the British 303.
Oh, that
big heavy gun, man.
our heirloom.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was your dad's gun.
Yeah.
First gun I shot a deer with whenever I was probably 14. And then first gun that Marshall shot a deer with. Yeah. So it's been kind
of. It needs to be Sammy's first.
We have a smaller gun, but I was like, you have to take your first one with this one.
It's like a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage. And the sad thing, man, is a doe walked out like in like 30 yards. You know what I mean? Like in front of his face. And he wanted to take it. And I was like, no, but like there's something behind, like I could see, and the sun was coming up, so it's still dark down in the woods, and I could see there were two animals way back at like 200 yards. I was like, dude, just hold off. And then that doe left, and these other two just came moving up. And the more we were like, they were getting in range and doing what we wanted them to do, he sighted up. But man, that gun, I think it was just, he doesn't know that he's got to get his face closer to the eyepiece. So he wasn't fully scoped properly. And so we had to sit down afterwards and be like, okay, when you're looking through the scope, what exactly are you seeing? Because he does fine with a smaller 22, but I think with that gun and the nerves. So, dude, everything was perfect. Like everything else was perfect. They were quiet for a long time, waited for him to move up, waited for him to turn broadside, everything. You know what I mean? And it would probably the biggest deer that anybody in the family shot so far. Like, so
has he shot that gun yet?
He's never shot that gun.
Oh, you didn't take him out and practice with it?
Not with that gun. He's practiced with the 22 and he's practiced with the 250. So I'd rather be surprised by the recoil. You know what I mean? Like
he'll knock him over.
Yeah.
I mean, he won't flinch though.
Well, I don't think he flinched. I think he just was not. He just wasn't sighted up good.
Problem is he'll flinch next time now.
No, he probably will.
He's felt it.
And so I think we might actually take him to the range and let him shoot it a little bit. Just get used to it.
It needs to do that.
But he wept. I mean, I'm talking tears flowing. It was all before school. All before.
Don likes to call those man moments. My father-in-law.
Oh, really?
Man
Okay.
Moments.
Yeah. I felt a little sad for him a little bit, but we're early in the season, I think. But the thing is he could have crossed his rite of passage with that doe that he could have hit with a rock. Like that could have been the rite of passage. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then that's out of the way, and then you can use the small gun.
Yeah, it'd be good with a buck.
Oh God, no.
Maybe he doesn't need more bragging rights.
Him? I think he could use some bragging.
He needs some bragging rights.
I mean, he's the second born son who's half the size of his older brother. You know, his older brother's already killed 2 things, and older brother has the biggest buck in the family right now. And, there's just those reasons why.
Well, and then you could let him know that his old grandfather is yet to kill a deer.
Oh, you have not?
Really?
Not. Oh, we went hunting a lot.
This may be the link in the chains. I think I'm going to send you out with.
I'm good with it without it.
Well, we can't skip a generation. I'm going to send you out with Marshall tomorrow morning, and
with the 303.
With the 303, yeah. We got to complete this journey, Padre. Come on, this is.
Well, it was getting so bad when I was in my 20s that I went out by myself and I said, there's a jackrabbit. And I beat it down because I'm a good shot, and I beat it down on it and I shot it right in the head and it didn't move. So I went up a little closer and shot it again. I said, this ain't right. And it was a stump. And I just have buck fever. I just had to kill something.
Because y'all were big hunters. I mean, Granddaddy was a big hunter. Yeah.
We had a lease, and my dad and his dad built the cabin. And they would kill the deer and they would skin it out there in the front, put it on the kitchen table, cut it up, take the meat. The mothers would start frying it up, and they'd wipe off the blood, and we'd eat dinner right there.
Yeah. That I remember the camp. I mean, even when I was little.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where But he would build these stands that were like made out of scaffolding, and they were like, twice as big as this table, and he'd have a little windmill connected to a bunch of sets of batteries underneath that were charging. He'd have a little TV in there. It was all carpeted, like it was ghetto rigged, but it was like ghetto fabulous.
And he had an easy chair in there, lazy boy.
Yeah, it felt good in there.
Buried a butane tank, ran it up, had a little heater. It's same.
Style.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, first one I did with that gun was out of one of those little scaffolding built stands. It was good. Good. Yeah. This got to happen, Pops. Tomorrow morning, you want to come out? I was already gonna what a birthday present that would be.
No, I'm good.
He's 80 years old tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
80 years old.
Yeah. You can shoot it and let them handle the.
Yeah,
I'll take care of everything.
Yeah,
I'll take care of everything, Pops.
Yeah, just call me when it's done, and I'll run out there and stand next.
Well, I wanted Marshall to be able to go out alone, and so if he had you with him, that way he.
Yeah. Well, he's got my namesake, so he can.
Okay.
All right. With that.
All right, Padre. All right. If I can't pressure you into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's gone this far.
This far, so I don't.
I think that's the cool thing about it. I'm not going to let this one die. I'm going to keep pushing.
So what's happening? How's it going?
How's it going? You always ask me this question. How's it going? Ask Padre.
Yeah.
I already asked him that when he came in because he was here early.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you want to introduce? Since you've been on the podcast multiple times.
Yeah, for sure. So my dad, Marshall Eggers, named my son after my dad. Padre's 80 years old tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Still
going, still working.
Still going strong. Yeah. Lived a lot of life. Still living a lot of life right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, most of the reason I'm a functioning human is because of Padre. Yeah. I could honestly not be a functioning human without.
Wouldn't exist without him.
Well, I mean, that is true
that's
also.
The main part,
biologically true. Yeah. So yeah, when you guys brought up bringing Pops on, I was like, that'd be really, really good. I think there's like a long history of different lifetimes lived. Do you know what I mean? And lots of storms weathered. And so I thought it was a good idea. You know what I mean? I thought there could be some good meat on the bone there.
So where do you want to go then? Since you got him captive now.
Yeah.
He's got you captive too. So.
Well, and one thing that I think could be fun is, and I was just thinking about this the other day, being a pastor and being, just the leader of a small congregation, and you can kind of get lost in the, I guess it's not lost. You have to really count the small wins, if I can put it that way. Like, it was just striking me the other day as I was thinking about our story, and I was thinking about you becoming a Christian in a Baptist church, Pearland, the south side of Houston, and how much you, like, going from just being a normal man to, like, sold out for Jesus as a father and a husband reshaped our family. And I guess it shaped my life so much, even though I walked away from it hardcore. But it made me really kind of think back, like, that is going on at our church in ways that I can't comprehend right now. Men waking up to their role and responsibility as fathers and husbands, and kind of stepping out of just like a worldly view of manhood or worldly view of what it looks like to be a man, to like really passionately trying to like own and take responsibility for their home and do the right thing. And so I thought it'd be fun. I don't know that I've even really, I could recollect the story of, you kind of going just from being a guy to really coming alive under, Rick Scarborough and that,
And with me, it was, it wasn't an emotional seeing the light. I was a pastor in Orangefield, when we were living in Bridge City, just stayed on me. But it became kind of an intellectual thing. It's like, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And it wasn't like, well, if I don't accept Jesus, I'm going to hell. It wasn't so much that as it made a lot of sense. It's just the direction I need to go. And so I just took it from there. But
can you remember what the couple of things were that made sense? Like, what were the couple of things that clicked where you're like, oh, there's something?
Yeah, I think it was just a culmination of just the guy just stayed on me constantly. He just.
But how did you grow up? Like,
both of my parents fought in World War II. My mother was in the Royal Air Force in England. My dad fought in the Philippines. So when I was born in England, and so when we came over, they were hardcore Depression era. We just got to take care of things.
Survival mode, kind of.
Yeah. My mother was the same way. She was in the middle of the bombing in England, in London. Mm-hmm. So, there was no I love you, or there was no hugging, there was no kissing, but we knew they did, because they took care of us.
Through their actions.
Through their actions. Yeah. And I think that might have influenced me in some ways, because even then it wasn't until actually when Terrell came along that I just became overwhelmed with affection.
Love.
Mm-hmm. And then, like you're saying, I know what the right thing to do is, and that's what I did. When you were going through all of your identifying yourself and me going up, bailing you out at 1 o'clock in the morning more than once.
More than once.
But it was just do it. Let's just stay on it. Let's just. And with me, your mom was always just crying and praying,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, we're both good, hardworking, dedicated. You're the same DNA. I said, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. 7 years later, finally made it.
But so, where was Christianity in your house? Like,
we were real strong First Baptist.
But growing up,
my mother would cart us off to a Methodist church and she was Presbyterian, I think.
And that would be occasional, though, huh? It was not like y'all had a church, right?
Yeah, we went to the Methodist church the most. And I remember...
Is this in Alvin?
No, this was in South Houston, what's called where 610 South Loop is now, right there. And we would, because I remember the doxology every Sunday. We would sing it at the end of preaching. So,
did Granddaddy go to that?
No, he never went.
Okay, so it was just Grandmommy that would.
Right, and you were the one that more ministered to him.
Oh, yeah.
Than staying with him for that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So then when did you become Baptist, or that conversion that Terrell's talking about?
We were living in the Orange.
So Beaumont area, Golden Triangle, is that right? That's where I was
Golden
born,
Triangle.
right? Yeah.
When was that?
80s, 84.
So how old were you?
So I was born in 84 in Port Arthur, Texas. So it would have been right around that time, 81. Right?
And how many kids did you guys have?
So it was Terrell, and then we have two others.
You the oldest?
No, yeah. I have a half brother. My mom was married a couple times prior to my dad. I have a half brother who's older than me by 8 years, and then later on down the road, whenever I was 15, mom and dad adopted, who is now my sister, adopted her, and her parents had passed away pretty close to each other. They both knew that it was coming. One was AIDS and one was cancer, and her dad was in small group with my mom and dad, and kind of knew it was coming. And so she was a year younger than me literally by like a day. Our birthdays are a day apart. So they kind of arranged, and so she just fit right into the family like immediately. And so yeah, she's like now just feels like she's always been there. She's always been.
So when you joined the church, it was early enough for Terrell where it was just kind of always part of life?
Always a part of life for me, for sure.
Yeah. In Pearland at First Baptist, we were deep, heavily involved. My wife and I had our own ministry in the church, which was a Christmas pageant, which took...
This thing was like the real deal. Like, I'm not joking. Like a production, like 3 to 4 months prior to Christmas. I mean, I don't know how many people were in the production, how many costumes. I mean, there was pyrotechnics. There was like flamethrowers. It was the most intense thing that I wish we could still find videos of that.
Yeah, it was 6 nights long, and then it would sell out every night.
So you're selling
standing
tickets.
room only.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Houston Chronicle would show up because it made such a buzz.
It was like Broadway.
It was.
It is wild to think about the size of our church and the type of production that was going on there. It really was like.
It was first class, and it was our pastor had kind of put the word out if there was anybody that could do stages and that sort of thing,
mm-hmm.
not knowing exactly what I did. Mm-hmm. So I was tasked with coming up with a set, and it was big. I mean, we were able to put a curtain up, hang a curtain, and then you would open the curtain, and there was stairs going up, and there was a scrim in the front where you could kind of look through the scrim and just see angels that looked like they were floating.
But these angels had like harnesses, 8-foot wingspans. Do you know what I mean? Like
get my wife.
Yeah,
were these people or were they?
Yeah, people in these costumes, and it was like you would light up. They would light up the front, and you couldn't see them, and then you light up the back. So the way the scrim worked, you light up the back, and then they were there,
silhouetted.
Oh yeah,
they were just floating, just there.
Wow,
it was.
I mean, I'm saying thousands of people became Christians over the course of those 10 years. Yeah. Like, no joke. I don't think it'd be too much to say that thousands of people became Christians in that. And I mean. But there was some intensity to it. You know what I mean? Like it was 3 acts. The first act was normal Christmas pageant-y, like it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, like singing those songs. And there were like, it'd take place in a home. And then there'd be the second act, which is all birth of Jesus, nativity. But then the third act was a judgment scene with the people from the first act. And the third act, like they had built like a box that Pops was in the box, and there was mattresses in the box, and it was on the edge, and I was a demon a couple of those years. And even the demon costumes were very, like they were not campy. They were like a little scary, and the lighting was done well. So like they'd bring forward the lady that was singing in the first act, and she was just kind of your normal church lady. And then like it would light up, and there'd be these angels going up, and there'd be God on the throne, and
stairs like endless.
And then he's like
20 feet up.
Depart from me, I never knew you. You know what I mean? And she's like screaming, and then I'm grabbing her, and then the box flies open. So my dad's on his back, kicks the box open, and he had a flamethrower in there that was shooting like 20 feet in the air. I'm talking like flames coming out. And I'd throw her in, the box would shut.
And I'd go, boom, boom, like a finality to it.
I'm telling you, like, Baptist churches in the 90s.
So this is not a lighthearted Christmas.
No. I think that's why the Houston Chronicle came, and it became like it was like a thing, because, I mean, that was...
Because First Baptist in Houston, which is...
It was a big deal at that time,
Houston,
yeah.
had a pageant but people were saying ours outshine theirs. Just
the thing about
better
it is,
production.
I could look back on that, and of course, I think I would critique, and you're scaring people into hell, and all the the approaches that I likely would not take as a pastor currently. But at the same time, I still look at that, and I'm like production was crazy. The amount of people that were doing that. The effectiveness of it, the amount of people that actually became believers and stayed and were legitimate believers. And then, so I look back on that kind of stuff and I'm like, man, I'm honestly more just grateful because it gave y'all such a purpose. Y'all were so deeply embedded in that church, which embedded me in the church, which is one of the things I think brought me back after, even in that, I found more in that than I found in the drug life and the, alcohol life.
And even as young kids, the children of all of us involved in the pageant, we would be there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every single night, and then get up and go to work.
What motivated you to make this pageant so big?
Well, our pastor, he wanted it.
He was one of those driving visionary types.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was driven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you were there to execute it.
And yeah. And then, and I found, we would have, there would be some scenes where Jesus is actually in the tomb, and we would have cold,
like fog, like cold fog,
that would just hover the ground. It was
wow.
eerie looking, and then Satan would come. And he would have these flash things and throwing flames.
Oh yeah, he had this cool. I wish we could find him nowadays. It was like the top of a lighter, but it was just the top, and it would strap to his finger, and he'd have these little cotton balls that had
kind of like magicians use.
Yeah, like little lighter fluid filled cotton balls, and he would just kind of flick his finger, and these little fireballs would and everything about it. Like if I tried to execute that, I'd be the most campy, corny Christian thing you've ever seen. And then but legit in the 90s, we were looking back on that and I was like, the execution here is compelling. It was compelling enough that 6 nights in a row at a little, suburban Baptist church, filling up, you know what I mean? It was, yeah.
It would hold 800.
It was just,
but it would be 1,200 in there every
Wow.
night. Standing room only.
And, 3 or 4 seamstresses making costumes for 3 to 4 months prior. Some scenes, I can still remember those scenes. Yeah. As much as I'm like, it is interesting. Yeah.
And really then we would finish that. And then here comes Easter.
Mm-hmm. And it'd be an Easter production.
So we got to build a tomb.
Yeah.
We got to.
You just store all these props somewhere for next year?
At the church, a little storage.
Yeah.
They had rented a storage place. And then the pastor says, well, let's get a stone. It was kind of a big tomb. And let's get a stone and let's put some fireworks so that stone would explode and blow away, roll out of the way. So
That's like some hazards. Yeah, fire hazard.
There was the one time where that
was the one time
the fireworks, the little sparks caught a plant that was on stage on fire, and
I was back where the tomb was, and I could hear the guy on the mixed position. There's a fire stage left. I could hear him whisper. I said, "Oh yeah, there is." So I kind of went around and had something kind of covered it up. Well, there was a volunteer fireman there. He wanted to be the hero. So he comes, he grabs me by the back of my neck, pulls me out of opens the door, and all this fresh air rushes in. So that flame just, and he takes it, he runs and goes, "Oh man, you're the hero." Dude, it was done. But anyway, we let it go. So.
Where do you think those productions went? I remember distinctly in the 90s, being a part of even just a really small Baptist church and having very intricate costume design. And,
yes.
And it just kind of went away. I don't know what happened.
We, in our case, we built a church, a new church, and moved from there. And then it became, people were moving out, and it just kind of died.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about everywhere else.
Yeah,
but we actually one of the themes that we came up with, they were doing in Arkansas. So us little core team left early one morning, drove up there, met with them, watched their production, and then we took some of their ideas, of course, with their permission, let them know.
Yeah.
But we were the same kind of theme.
Yeah. I always wonder, the church, and culture, it's not just the church, but culture kind of reacts, you know what I mean? And you're always critiquing what went before you. And even though I can look at what went on there, and there was things that I wouldn't do, things I wouldn't redo, if I'm leading a church, I am leading a church, you know what I mean? But, as I think that's what it is, the culture just kind of reacts, and that stuff becomes corny, and it becomes, and the thing is now and again, I would couch that all by saying, I think it was highly effective, and it was really beautiful. There were aspects of it was moving. It was wonderful. But then it's almost like it will go too far in some production direction. You know what I mean? Because I see what a lot of these mega churches do now, and some of the production there, and the amount of energy, time, money that goes into the production. I think at some level you question the amount of input for the output, and then what's the output. And so then I think the church will naturally react, and then it'll scale back. You see it with weddings. You know what I mean? Like there was a long time, like early 2000s, late 90s, weddings were big, and they were like real, like all the formalities. And I think it was going on long before that for sure. But then, people react to that, and then weddings become like toned down and very basic and very simple.
Cost the amount of a down payment on a house.
Right. You question it, right? I can't be true, Pops. I can't be true. I do believe that weddings should be like, I do like a real big fun wedding.
Well, it definitely was.
We had a great
It was
time.
definitely.
We had a great time.
It was memorable.
But yeah, I think culture and people are always kind of acting and reacting, and you question when it comes to production itself, and then production itself being in the church. There is for sure that has to be measured. It has to be questioned.
You can get lost in it.
You can because it becomes about the production,
Right.
and that could be just Sunday morning worship. You know what I mean?
And I know the big churches in Houston literally would bring in professional actors and professional musicians instead of it just being choir.
Well, from the church, from the community, from the
Right.
church that's
And
actually.
to me, that
Yeah.
kind of just looks like something you see on TV.
Priorities aren't in the right place anymore.
Yeah, and I know when we moved in to the new church there in Pearland, new building, the deacons wanted to recreate it. I said, "No, you can't. You can't recreate it."
There was
an intimacy where we were. And
there was a purity and an intimacy to it. It was all of our people. It was this cool core team of adults that like passionately knew what they were doing and were executing, and were all bought in hours and hours and hours, and it felt like, even as a child, I can remember this felt like it was, kingdom and for something meaningful. It did not feel as if this is just about a production. You know what I mean? It did feel rich and pure in that way.
And Pastor would do an invitation after each performance.
After you're scared into.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean. You have people coming forward, and the reality is that the church was full in February. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just that night people getting saved. It was like men and women's lives changing, and them becoming passionate about the Lord, and then like reshaping their families, so like it's like
Well, there's also something inviting about a church getting together for one common goal, and then seeing that and being, I want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys obviously are having fun with this, and
yeah,
I want to be a part of that. So yeah,
it was good. It was good. The closeness with the guys that we worked with for, and through them all night.
You build a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah.
You do. You have post-set depression afterwards, and you're all done with it, and you're like, family's gone. We're all.
Isn't that true? That is exactly true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what was it like raising this guy?
It was fun until he became a teenager, And,
You can say anything you want to say, Pops.
we could see at an early age he was a leader. Even in the neighborhood, his friends, his friends looked to him to organize things and do things, and street hockey and stuff like that. And we could see that he was kind of it was natural at that. And then he took the different path of the dark side, and the friends kind of followed, And but it was fun, but it was real, during those late teens and right up until he was 21 or 22.
About 22, yeah.
It was real hard. So,
What do you think drew him that direction?
that I don't know.
Yeah,
I know you did preach about it once, about the boredom of suburbia, looking for more.
Yeah. That's something, but it doesn't explain it all.
Yeah.
And I counsel a lot of people that are going through a lot of things. And what's interesting is most of the time in their stories, you can see this clear, like, family broke and there was divorce and you felt alone, and then you found camaraderie in these people or this thing. And that wasn't it for me. Like
we were stable. I mean, we had a good,
stable
solid,
and loving and present. Do you know what I mean? Like it, and I that's the odd thing. It, like,
my wife and I never raised our voice.
Yeah,
each other, our kids.
I didn't feel
always calm.
Yeah, pushed down or beat. That's the thing that I think must be tough to know. Like, you did it right. You know what I mean? And you didn't just bring him to church. You were involved in church. Both of y'all. Dad was a deacon. You know what I mean? It was like you do all the right things, the right marks, and you're not doing it just to do the right thing. You're literally doing it because you believe it will have a positive effect. And I didn't just kind of go up. Like, it was like I went pretty deep off into some stuff. You know what I mean? That could have had me killed on several occasions. It was, and so.
But a father has unconditional love. So all of what he was going through, let's just get through it.
Yeah,
let's get through it. So never.
Did y'all question, like, let's say early on, like, I'm 19, I'm in the middle of it, I'm on my fourth arrest. You know what I mean? What are y'all thinking about God and like, where's your mind going? Like, yeah. I've never really known that.
Yeah, never saying, God, why are you doing this? Never a blame, never. It just was, and we'll deal with it, And of course, we prayed all the time, but it wasn't. Never was there a blaming of God for anything.
Yeah.
Why'd you do this to my boy?
Yeah.
It just, just deal with it.
It was squarely my fault.
Your decision. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
But not even blaming yourselves, really, it sounds like.
Yeah, did y'all go there at all? Like, no. Did y'all go searching for, like, what did we do to cause this or anything? Nope. Gosh, I feel like that's the first place I'd go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that'd be the first thing that I'm thinking. And
well, possibly maybe I should have beat you. But
yeah, I think y'all probably did get some outside opinions that were like,
well, we had
wait, when he's 19, beat him when he's 19.
No, yeah. Like maybe more spankings when I was 7 and 8 and 9,
and I remember real young. It was okay. Now you did this. This is going to be your punishment.
Well, what did consequences look like at 5 or 6 years old for him?
Just a little paddle on the behind,
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that there were no spankings. I remember several spankings. I remember being terrified of spankings from him. I remember thinking spankings from my mom were funniest. But like, even by like 8, I was like, this is.
But it seems like you're a very disciplined person. And you don't worry about things, it seems like, either.
Yeah, I don't.
Like you don't have anxiety. You don't like mull over things and ruminate. You just, it is what it is.
Let's just deal with it. And it may be the way I was brought up, or
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I think it's just my personality.
Mm-hmm. But were you like disciplined in the household growing up? Like you had to be up at 6 o'clock. You had to be doing something. You had to be...
Oh, geez, y'all's house was
Yeah,
very disciplined.
and my dad just worked constantly. He was almost not home much at all. But mother stayed home; she didn't work, and I can't see there was a whole lot of discipline. We were able to, and of course, when
I say discipline, I mean just like regimented structure.
not so much.
Okay.
Oh, it wasn't really. You used to act like they were very hard on y'all. Like
Well,
you couldn't speak until you were spoken to.
yeah, that was the case when, especially with my dad, and when he was, and his parents would be over and they would play pinochle and smoke a carton of cigarettes during the game. But if we wanted to speak, we would have to stand next to them until we were acknowledged. We couldn't you just don't interrupt. We couldn't. But it wasn't like if we did, we were, going to get, spanked or in big trouble. I think it was more just fear. It just didn't.
Were they was Granddaddy verbally aggressive?
Not, but he was
Just commanding?
He was a big man.
Mhm.
He was he was a record driver, and he had a big belt, and he would come at us, ripping the belt off. But that's as far as it'd go. Yeah.
Okay.
Get to your run.
Still can be scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just scary.
So raising him though, were you guys disciplined, like structured?
Yeah,
Regimented.
there was structure. Yeah,
Mhm.
and yeah,
There was the same things going on every day. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
And so, yeah, I do remember it being there was a lot of regularity.
yeah. And then we would, okay, you're going to get a spanking. We'll give you a couple licks,
Mm-hmm.
and you know why, don't you? And
So it was clear communication on discipline. There was also a lot of trust, though. I would say that you gave me from a very early age, you would allow me to do things and allow me to fail at things and allow me to do,
yeah, and that was a core belief of mine. You can't succeed unless you fail. And if you're going to fail, do it at a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was the right move.
So you went to fail hard.
Yeah. I mean, I went as hard and fast as I could at it.
Yeah. And I know when, my wife owned a daycare, and she just wanted to get out of it. So we sold it to a couple, and they ran it into the ground in 2 months, 3 months. So we had to go back in and take it over, which we had a mortgage there. We had a mortgage on our house.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, well, let's move. Because, she had 105 kids, and then the other couple was down to 0 kids and just walked away from it. So we had a big
Mm-hmm.
building. And so we went in. I guess you were 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So me and him got in there, which loved it. I
Sold the
it was
house.
an adventure.
Sold the house we grew up in, and then tried to take the daycare and turn it into a house and renovated it from
We
the
went in and knocked
inside.
out walls.
Yeah.
And I went in and hung sheetrock, and that was to me a wonderful time.
Yeah. It was it felt like an upheaval, but it felt like an adventure for
Yeah,
sure.
And it was, and I had mentioned to Terrell, I said, if you're going to do something, just whatever you do, be bold, make a bold move.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done that.
Yeah. It feels that way.
10 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels like that was kind of a programming early on.
Yeah.
And I remember what you used to say. You'd always come into my room, especially when I was a lazy teenager, and just say, do something, even if it's wrong, do something.
Do something.
Yeah, I remember that over and over in my life. Do something, even if it's wrong, just do something.
We can correct it if it's wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that might have helped in part.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even in the last few years, he's done things that had been wrong and expensive. And
oh, yeah.
That's true, Pops. That's true.
But it's just still the same thing. Let's get through it.
That does seem like a theme from very young that I do feel grateful for, even though I do feel like it's costly. Is I did feel like I did not feel like y'all were in any way helicopter parents at all.
Yeah.
I think I felt like I had latitude. I felt like I had freedom, and I felt like I had the ability to try to figure things out on my own, which I needed. There's a part of me that needs the ability to not know how to do something and then to figure out how to do it by doing it. I absolutely love that. And I think if that would have gotten shut down early on because of a fear of failure, I think it would have shut me down in a way that I don't know that you come back from that. I don't know that it's easy to come back from that. So it was like, it became easier to fail. Even though I don't like to fail, I'm not scared of it, and I am okay with it. And then I think there's another part of it that actually allowed, and I think it takes a long time, or at least it did for me. I felt a degree of a safety net. And this is the thing that it's like, I don't know that I would counsel other people to do this. That's the weird thing. It's like, I don't know. And I'm sure that you got counsel that was another direction, but like by the third or fourth time in jail, and I'm telling Pops, like, I felt bad enough because I cared about them. And I'm like, just leave. Like I called him one night. I was just, leave me in here. Like I'll be in here 2 days. I'll be over. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any bail. Can you leave me in here? And he immediately, without question, just says, my kids don't sit in jail, and hung up. You know what I mean? And it was just like, and I remember that was jarring to me. Like it was like, I would have preferred to stay in there. Do you know what I mean? I would have preferred to not have to look him in the eye on the way home. And then, we're riding home and he's pissed. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell. It's not like everything's okay and we're, and I'm getting treated softly, and he's just like, I don't think I'd ever heard him say a cuss word, maybe once. And he's like, you just said you're effing your life up, but he didn't say effing. You know what I mean? Like and I just remember being like shook by it, but it was like, I still went to jail again and again after that, and but there was something being woven in me that was really important. And so then by the time I did come back to the Lord, and I did come out of that stage of teenage years where you do look at your parents. I remember being a young kid and thinking like, my parents are awesome. Like they're awesome. And I remember being a teenager and being like, I didn't think they were idiots or anything, but like out of touch, you know what I mean? And like, I'll be different. I don't even know why I would be different. Like I didn't look at them and be like, I'll do it different. But there's this thing in you that feels like they're out of touch and you want to. But I remember being 22 and being overwhelmed as I was coming back to the Lord, overwhelmed by the love of God the Father. But the only way I could understand it was because of the love that I had received and the sort of consistent safety net of like, you can fail, but I will not allow this to ruin you. Do you know what I mean? Like I won't allow, there's a level that you don't get to feel. And it's like, even I look at like logically, I'd be like, would I do the same thing with my kid? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I can look back from this vantage point. And then even in other things where it's been investments and times that I've gone to dad and been like, I'm asking you to invest in me and I want to try something out. And it doesn't work, or it takes a long time to work, or like it works way less than you think it's going to. There's been this like investment of trust in that way, and this investment. So it feels like we're building something together over time. Do you know what I mean? And then I can look back now even being like, I feel like with the income that I've made just from my own work, it's not that much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the life we've built from that sort of safety net that's always there, that's not frivolous. It's not like I'll just throw money at you whenever you want. There's a thoughtfulness to it, but it's almost like a sharing of an inheritance early, functioning as a safety net and an investment of trust that's allowed us to build something that I don't know that you can build outside of that. And that feels like that started whenever I was, as far as when I was 9 years old, 8 years old. Like, do that on your own and figure it out. And if you need me, I'm here. But I want you to kind of figure it out on your own. And I'll be around to make sure it doesn't just completely ruin in your hands, you know? And it's like, I think I could string together 100 different, like, occasions of that playing out. And I think what it's done in me is profound. I absolutely believe it's profound. And powerful enough to, like, bring me out of an enormous amount of darkness and help me feel confident to try my hand at 10 different things and learn things that way. So, yeah.
And even when he was still in the crib, I had gotten some Zig Ziglar tapes called "See You at the Top" because I was a big fan of Zig Ziglar. So when he was still a baby in the crib, I put Zig Ziglar under the crib and played.
Which
Zig
he's
Ziglar.
just like the epitome of positive thinking.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? The
positive.
epitome of like,
And he's a incredible orator.
he's
speaker.
just a great storyteller, great, like, just
inspirational.
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 But also there's a Christian, there's a Christian undertone to it, but it's not obvious. You know what I mean? He was like before, Tony Robbins, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there goes Zig Ziglar. And I didn't even know he did this. And then when I was 19 or 20, I found Zig Ziglar along the way. And I used to listen to Zig Ziglar as I would drive. Like I was working for Dad and going to do deliveries down in all over the place in the trucks. And I used to play Zig Ziglar on those drives and just thought he was fantastic. You know what I mean? Like,
Because I'm thinking now, well, he's a great speaker because as an infant, he was listening to.
and we say that,
Ziglar's a
right,
great
Amos?
speaker.
Ben, great speaker? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, hold on to that one.
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
Huh.
He was just, there was something special about that guy. And his voice is a cool voice.
Yeah, kind of a Paul Harvey kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you thinking when he was sitting in jail?
What I was thinking,
Which time?
Yeah. Well,
Any of them? Like,
here we go again. Just let me go deal with it. You know.
seems pretty straightforward. Just like, get your life together.
Yeah.
Why do you want to live this way?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yes. But it was always my thought that it's going to be okay. It was just, I just felt like it was going to be all right. And sure enough it was. I mean, it is.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like a gift of faith that God gave you. You know what I mean? That's just like you don't have to work it up. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Were you always that way?
I think so. Yeah.
Even before?
I've always been positive. Yeah. Always. And I was small, which I'm still small, but when growing up, I was a runt, and big kids would pick on me, you know. But I was like a little banty rooster. I'd go after them.
a little bandy roost.
And they'd put their hand on my same age as me, but big football player, put their hand on my head, and I'm just a swinging, you know, and they're just holding me back. So I think I've just always been positive and aggressive. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about when he came out of it, finally?
I joined the Marine Corps, so
Oh, I mean, him, when Terrell finally came out of it, like, what was...
not a relief, yeah, and I I think that I just felt, I guess what I did was correct. I guess I'm satisfied in the way I raised him.
Yeah. There's a risk. You're rolling the dice on an approach to me that I think most people would not have done. And so there's got to be in you like the question, like, is it?
But I just never questioned. I just knew it was going to be okay.
And then just kept plugging that play.
If you keep doing positive things and keep doing things the right way,
Like it has
it'll
to
come out positively.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when he was coming round and he looked like he figured out his life, the pastor at First Baptist in Pearland lived in Nacogdoches. So this was his home. So we called him and talked to him and brought Terrell up to talk to him.
And I'm on felony probation at that time.
He was already on.
I'd come out of it, but I still had a lot of baggage. Yeah.
And it was Rick Scarborough was that pastor, and he had faith enough to make him a youth pastor at Harvest Point here. And he grew the church, or grew the youth department there.
Yeah, it just felt like one after another. It was like there never was a time where I was like, okay, I need to go find a pastor job. Just felt like God always opened the door, and it was always felt clear that this is the role I'm supposed to play right now. You know what I mean? And that's and I think that made them feel a sense of like, okay, you know what I mean? Because they were both so deeply embedded in the church, and so me being involved in the church, you know, and even Jim Stern had said things to Mom about my destiny and future and like, role in ministry long before I kind of took a turn. And I think she held on to that. So there's just a lot. Like, I think that in those first year or two, I bet you there's a lot of relief. 'Cause there was just so much pin up frustration. Do you know what I mean? From the repetition of terrible decisions. Yeah.
Yeah. And he, he talked to Terrell for a while, and I think he saw that Terrell, had turned the corner and was going to be okay. So that worked out until that church started doing stupid things.
Well, it took a funny turn there for a little bit.
They started.
Yeah.
So do you think all the ingrained things from your childhood kicked in at a certain point?
There's a lot of it. There's an enormous amount that did. Like, there's a work ethic side of it that was there. Do you know what I mean? Because Pops is, he'll be 80 tomorrow, still working more than 40 hours a week. A lot of it manual labor, at least some of it manual labor in a warehouse.
Still working?
Yeah, dude.
What are you doing? What are you doing these days?
Still going. Still.
What do you do for your day-to-day during the week?
Oh, you didn't know about the concerts and stuff?
Well, explain.
Yeah.
Our audience probably doesn't know.
So we're the stagehands that put up all the concerts, most in Texas.
In Texas.
Yeah. San Antonio, Dallas, Austin. So we'll do 2,000 shows a year. So,
oh, wow.
Big concerts.
This is big stuff. This is A-list artists.
Yeah.
Like I just finished last month, Metallica, Morgan Wallen, Beyonce, back to back to back. Did 21 Pilots last week. Paul McCartney last week.
Oh, wow.
Normally someone in your demographic wouldn't even know what 21 Pilots.
Right.
Yeah. Is that an Air Force show?
Right.
Yeah.
Marshall and Sammy will throw on some 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you get to meet these people? It's a hobnob, or?
Some of them over the years. It's been 35 years of doing that.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few of them. Some of them, you're not allowed to look at them when they come out.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah, right.
During your face. And I kind of get it, because they don't want to be freaked out by people, in their face and looking at them. They got to focus and get on the stage and do their job.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to instill on everybody, hey, look, they got a job. Their job is to perform. Your job is to set up, look up the lights and the sounds, and leave them alone. We did a deal for Aerosmith, and Stephen. This was in New Orleans, and we also built a big stage, gigantic stage. He wanted to come from the back of the stage, crawl under the stage, and then pop up in front of the stage, and surprise the audience. And so we had to go in and line make a walkway for him, line the stage, put lights, put carpet down, and then have two guys at the front kind of open the skirting so he can get out. And their instructions were, when he comes, do not look him in the eye. Don't look him in the eye. Whatever you do, So they're trying to do it and turn their head and open the curtain. But they said Steven Tyler, he gets freaked out real easy when you do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
When you look him in the eyes.
Yeah, because a lot of our guys, they're either bikers or stagehands. They're rough looking with piercings and.
Oh, he's pretty rough looking too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You want to talk?
He might be,
I think he's done his fair share of drugs.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
same on our end. So,
Yeah.
So.
And there's several of those artists that were into drugs and then out of drugs, and part of them, they'll not have handlers, but you can call it handlers, but they have people that are there to make sure that they don't jump back into drugs, getting it from stagehands and the people backstage. So there have been several times when I was working, and they would make it clear to us, like, hey, you can't make any contact, and it has to do with like them wanting to stay clean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some of that, and that's not as much as it used to be. That's
Yeah.
the guys are starting. Everybody's getting more and more professional, because now the industry is run not by promoters; it's run by accountants and lawyers.
So you're saying the stagehands are getting cleaner, or the artists are getting cleaner?
We are making it mandatory in some cases, drug tests.
Which would have never been the case when I was there. I mean, like that would have been the opposite of what was going on.
Now, there's a lot of pot smoking. Almost everybody there.
I was about to say, Willie Nelson coming through again. Come on now.
Yeah, when they say drug test, they don't mean weed in that, do they? There's no way they could. I mean, there's no way that.
But
There'd be no workers.
We impressed on them and said, guys, if you get injured, they're going to take your blood. It's going to be a blood test.
Yeah.
And if you're high on dope and you get hurt, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Workers' comp will not pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll pay the emergency room treatment, but the insurance company will not pay for your injury if you have any indication of drugs. So the guys are kind of cleaning up in that regard. But for the most part,
it was the Wild West when y'all started.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like carrying around bags of money and having
there's
to
a lot
fight
of
over
that.
it. Yeah, like because if the show didn't do good and you guys worked it and they didn't want to pay, I mean, y'all had to.
We had to get our money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't
Be at the box office in the concession stand.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's got the entertainment industry has developed from like the Wild West into a,
It's a business.
like you
So
said.
what got you into it?
Our family, my parents were in theater. They
Hence
were
the large production for Christmas.
Yeah,
That's right.
they were.
Yeah.
They were. But theater before there was rock and roll, Broadway kind of stuff.
Okay.
Get under the stars. My dad was the curtain, did the curtain thing. We had a brother who did the props, and my mother was wardrobe.
And that was back when theater was kind of the only show in town.
There was
too.
no, because artists like Elvis came in and was in a theater, not a rock and roll venue.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the Beatles came to Shea Stadium that concept of outdoor rock and roll concerts, started. That idea of having a rock and roll venue, and it just kind of took off. And so we kind of morphed into that.
Gotcha.
And then had to war with the union.
Then within war,
Because the
In
union,
Texas?
the union owned, even in Texas, the union ran all of it.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, early 80s, right?
early 80s, yeah.
And so when they kind of broke in and started getting business away from the union, it wasn't. I mean, the union, it was like mob style, wouldn't it? I mean, they were.
Well, and these promoters and anybody wanted to put on a show, the union was just, their rates were just getting outrageous. You know, they couldn't make any money, so they were just looking for another resource. And Texas being, you know, right to work state,
Right.
and so it's now Live Nation, but it was SFX and it was Pace Concerts before all that. You know, we're looking for non-union companies to put their shows on. And so it just kind of grew from there, just forced the door open.
Yeah. And then when y'all started getting buildings, I mean, didn't y'all have like,
Got the Summit.
but didn't they come and kind of like throw stuff through the window and like kind of like a bullying to kind of get y'all to back off early on?
Yeah, well, then you'd have to have building managers that would have to back up if they would hit, because all the buildings had contracts with the union. And, you know, the local would tell them, here's your new rates. He said, well, I want the same rates that you gave your pal over there. Well, no, you don't have any choice. You got to use us. Well, there was a couple of building managers said, no, I don't. You know, I'll go find somebody, which they did. And, and then we were available and said, yeah, we'll do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And that was kind of, that was interesting. It's funny, the culture of Upstage, whenever I was working there, was very much similar to the way that you would talk. It was like, it doesn't matter what needed to get done, you step in and you do it. And there was a culture that was very, very interesting inside of there. But it was like, we got stuff, we got concerts in and out. I mean, it was like a rush. The culture there was like a rush to be a part of, because, I mean, a lot of people organizing a really big thing and executing on it really fast. And we were known, and y'all, I think y'all still are, for being like the quickest in, the quickest out in the United States. Like, we would.
And a lot depends on the venue itself.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a stage and a loading dock and the truck's right there and you break it down, you only have to go 20 feet and put it in the truck, as opposed to some venues where it's got to go down a ramp, around another ramp, and then up to a loading dock and then over to the stage. You know, and you can only get one truck in at a time, as opposed to getting 3 or 4 trucks in. But the industry is probably the most productive industry there is. When you'll get 20 semis come in, get it unloaded, get the show set up, the whole stage, we'll have 150 guys there. By 2 p.m., you're doing sound check.
Yeah.
You know, you're down to show call at 4 and 5 p.m. 10:30 p.m., everybody's back. 3 hours later, 20 trucks, 30 trucks are loaded, and they're gone to Dallas to be there the next in 4 hours.
So you got to have a good system.
Good system. So they have to carry all their own stuff. Sometimes they have their own stage, they've got their own lights, their own audio, their own set piece, everything. You know? So it could be 20 semis, 30 semis.
And in 6 hours, that thing is together. And
6 hours or so, you know, they're ready to put on the show.
yeah.
So at this point, are you mostly just managing it all?
Yeah, I just
You're not 40 feet up in the air.
no,
Right, you're not
I don't do that anymore.
screwed in like bolts.
Now I just I'll receive the quotes and the estimates. Someone's looking to do a show.
Yeah.
I'll get the call. I'll put together an estimate, or I'm even to the point now where I've got someone who'll do the estimates.
There you go, Padres. Yeah, backing up.
But I'll do some of those.
Yeah.
And you're in the warehouse doing trucks, getting stages.
I like to
trucks.
get out
Yeah.
in the shop and physically do stuff. It keeps me in shape.
Yeah.
Terrell, you said you had worked with them for a little bit. What were you doing?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I first started, I was on a forklift at probably 13 years old, stacking stuff in the warehouse.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Did that get you forklift certified that young?
Oh, well, there's no
Heck
certification,
yeah,
but he put me on it.
It's not like they were running loose, a little loose.
I'm just saying.
But I felt it's the best way to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being
With heavy machinery.
Heavy machinery.
I remember being very young and kind of riding with you on the forklift, and then I remember when you started putting me on it, and I mean, I used to love like racking steel on the forklift, and then it was doing shows, and I'd be a pusher. That's kind of where that started, where you're just taking a box from the truck to where it goes. You don't get to do anything else with it. The loaders are in the truck, they're unstacking it, getting to the edge of the truck, and then I'm taking it from that truck and I'm pushing it to where it goes with the lighting guys and leaving it there, or leaving it with the sound guys, and then you go from there. You can be a loader, and then you can be in the truck and you're stacking and unstacking. And then probably by the time I was 19, I was doing stage rigging, which is you're in the beams and you're dropping down the rope and you're pulling up the chain motor. And that was probably the most fun. Like there's an excitement there. That one's a rush because you're, either in, what is it, NRG now, but it was Reliant Stadium back then, and in Toyota Center, and you're walking the catwalks and the beams up there.
You're not afraid of heights?
I don't necessarily love heights. When you're just standing up there looking around, you start to get weird, especially early on when I was getting trained. But by the time you're in it, all you're focused on is the work that you've got to do, and you just don't like. So now I honestly enjoy heights a little bit, and building scaff. There are scaff towers made of this like old school metal scaff. It's not like painter scaff. It's like staging scaff. And building those, it's like building a giant Lego that you're building like 100 feet up in the air. And it that stuff was a ton of fun. I mean, like, I'd still enjoy doing that if I had the chance. Not necessary.
And I think there's something really interesting about kind of seeing behind the scenes at all these different venues. I remember a couple random jobs that I had growing up, and just being able to see behind the curtain and see how it's really made. And that's just so cool on its own, to kind of be exposed to that. And
it definitely was. It definitely was.
That's
I think,
awesome.
and then getting to run Spotlight, that was one of those ones that was a lot of fun because most of the time you don't get to see the show. And so I remember I got to a level in there where I could actually run Spotlight, and you get to stay for the show. And that there was just get to see a lot of great artists.
Well, also we would do big stadium shows at Texas Stadium where the Cowboys used to play.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was the first job, the real job I did with y'all. Oh my God.
I'll show you what real work is, because we would have to cover the whole field.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, the whole, not just the field, but the whole stadium floor. 3 layers thick of plywood.
Oh, wow.
So we would have to have
It was the
30,
worst
40 guys just put plywood down. Because
days.
they wanted the stage on the other end of the stadium from the tunnel. So
And then you had to have extra plywood where the trucks were going to
then a plywood road on top of that. So it'd be 3 layers thick with 3/4 inch plywood.
It's the worst.
So, and I brought him and a bunch of high school kids and a bunch of day labor.
Yeah.
And
You had to roll out tarps first. You had to roll out giant tarps across everything. And then, this was our first time. I remember it was me and 3 guys. Yeah. And then the day laborers that you brought in. I was probably 14 or 15 at that time.
Yeah, I think you were 16.
Was I? Okay.
I couldn't.
I remember being
in
young
for
and not big at all. And I remember, and it'd be, okay, then the first thing was tarps. I remember that. You push them out. And then they would just bring loads of plywood. And you're just laying, oh my God. And I remember we got done and and you start like doling out cash when we got done, like the third day after it. And I was like, I think I'd do that again.
That's what I knew I would be good,
Because it was good money. It was.
And of course, it would be in July and August when you have stadium shows, because there's no football games.
Oh, yeah.
So you can imagine. And I was, I remember there was the one show that I kind of remember. We had just finished laying all the plywood down. And I was, had the radio talking with the different people, and it was, Selena just got murdered.
Oh no!
And I was there at Texas Stadium on the field right there when that happened. I said, I remember that. Not that I was a big fan or anything,
right?
But
right.
It's
you feel it though.
Yeah, it's golly, somebody that I'd done shows for.
Mm-hmm.
Got murdered, and it was kind of surreal in a way.
Yeah.
So
I still remember where I was when I heard Michael Jackson died. Just it kind of sticks with you.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
He wasn't murdered, though.
No, but still, it has an effect.
Although there is someone in jail over it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was. Who knows?
Oh, it's the doctor. The doctor, I think, in jail.
Yeah.
Who was prescribing him.
Yeah, and back in the 80s and early 90s, late 80s, the work was a lot more dangerous than it is now. And on outdoor stadium shows, it was a scaffolding type stage. It was old school, like you've seen Woodstock 99.
Not OSHA approved.
No, yeah. But that, I don't know if you've seen that documentary on Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I own that stage now.
Okay.
Or we do. So that back then that scaffolding, but now they hang audio. Back then they stacked it.
Yeah.
So you would build the scaff towers up, and you'd be on a deck where the audio was. So we would have guys up 30, 40 feet in the air, standing on the deck, and then tearing the scaffolding down, and then the pass line handing it down. And I remember it was at same stadium, Texas Stadium.
Huh.
We've been. It was 6:00 in the morning, and it was one of those eerie mornings. We were tearing it out, and I was on the other side of the stadium, and it was a low-hanging fog. And I hear this blood-curdling scream from the other side. And one of our guys was just not paying attention, turned and stepped off and fell down the scaff. And his elbows were hitting they're called ledgers, kind of the pipes, and landed on his heels, and legs just split open. And this was before cell phones. So I'm running, and I'm looking. I found a payphone, did the 911, and went over. So that haunts me to today. When I went over and looked at him and saw his legs just, bones sticking out.
Oh.
Did he make it?
He's back working. He's still working with us.
Oh, so he's a hard
But he was
Hard charger. Jeez, right?
5 years in recovery.
Jeez.
5 years. So, and it's, so those, there's a lot of stories.
Oh, man.
bad.
A lot of stories.
Yeah. Padre.
What's the state of the industry right now with
It's
small venues and stuff like that? Where I've heard that they're having trouble with like Ticketmaster and different places taking a pretty large cut, and they're just not able to survive.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, and the industry itself is safe now. I mean, we're just safety conscious like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, but 10 years ago, we had a stupid guy who was, just sitting out. He was from Houston, but this happened in San Antonio. So we had a crew in from San Antonio, and he was sitting around drinking, doing coke all day, and time for loadout. And so he was a rigger, and he got on top where the I-beams kind of crossed, and he wanted to step across to the other I-beam, and he missed, and he wasn't clipped in because he was overly confident.
Cocaine will do that.
Yeah, fell 150 feet, and of course,
He's probably not still working.
he's not. He didn't make it. This shut everything down. The OSHA came in and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But what's sad, had he been clean, his family would have just gotten $1 million, But he wasn't. They got nothing. Got nothing because that was, So when these young guys, we try to impress on them, man, don't be stupid. Take care of your family. If something happens to you, they're taken care of.
Yeah.
So, and I imagine because you were doing this, working with these rough characters, all the while your teenage son is growing up and rebelling, if you will, and you probably weren't as shocked as most parents probably would be with regards to what kind of trouble he was getting into, because you kind of were around these types of people, and you're like, you know what, he's gonna be all right eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I never thought of that. Yeah, that's true. You were exposed to that's a lot of the stuff that I was rolling around in. You were exposed to with the guys that work
really rough, hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
So it's not a jarring thing for you as much as it's not what you wanted for me. That wasn't a jarring thing. Yeah. That's interesting.
That could be some of it. Yeah, that was good. That's good insight there. Yeah.
Oh, I think most people in a run-of-the-mill job are not, especially if they grew up in a Christian home and just went off, got married, started having kids, and then they hear the next thing, oh, he's doing what? And it's just not in their day-to-day vernacular, if you will, or being exposed to that. So that pendulum swings completely the opposite direction.
Right.
Whereas you're more like calm and, hey, he's screwing up right now. He's going to get over it. He's going to get through this. And because you've seen other guys that potentially may have gone one way or the other in it.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or took a misstep.
Mm-hmm. Or took a misstep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all worked out. And now, I'm really, well, of course, when we were in Pearland and I had my house paid for and he decided this is where he's staying, and Karen said, well, we're moving to Nacogdoches, and I'm not following my kid around wherever he goes. We're set here in Pearland. We're good. So here I am in Nacogdoches. And
now he's your pastor.
Yeah, now he's my pastor.
Did you ever think your son would be your pastor?
So yeah, did you ever? I bet you didn't think that.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that. But I've mentioned it now. Well, my kid's my pastor.
Y'all are out on the compound. Do we call it a compound?
We call it a compound.
Yeah.
Family compound.
Yeah.
So
it's underway. They don't live out there yet.
We're not there, but
this house is. I'm there. Padre's house is halfway done.
Okay.
So we moved out. We got the house out on the lake. I was 70. So that house signed a 30-year mortgage at 70.
Oh, no.
So we're getting this going, and I said, okay, this is where I'm staying. This is it. Oh no, I'm building houses. We're going to have a family compound out here. That's biblical.
That is not the way I presented it. I was way more delicate in that approach, and a little more compelling than that. I think I was a good sell.
It was a good sell because now I'll be 80 and signed a new 30-year mortgage,
which is probably.
You think they'll get? I mean, that means you have to live to 110 to get it.
That's what I'm saying.
And the limit's 120, biblically speaking. So I mean, I think. This is perfect, actually.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to keep working.
Yeah.
Gosh. And see, put the what he throws on top of me over here.
Yeah. Well, I've always heard that people, whenever especially whenever they just retire and they don't have that,
a drive.
That drive, yeah.
You got to keep that going.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll be sitting on the couch and catch myself kind of dozing. So, oh my God, if I was retired, that's exactly what I'd be doing. Sitting on the couch.
Well, there's definitely something about being the most knowledgeable person in the room, too. I bet you when you go to work, they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around the block a couple times.
It's true. Yeah, they'll, I know my staff, they absolutely don't want me to pick up, lift, do anything.
Yeah.
We got this. You get us the jobs. You get the money.
Yeah,
that feels good. Yeah, that feels
really good. That's good. That's good.
Already.
So
yeah.
So it's kind of good, and now I'm backing off on being on site so much.
Yeah.
And I been kind of guilty of not doing with my help the way I did with him. Leave him alone. Make the mistakes. Do it, but I'd always been
you're hands on.
Yeah, and hands on, and
that's interesting.
So I'm trying to get away from that.
Well, any closing thoughts?
Yeah. So retirement's not anytime soon.
No, I don't.
That ain't happening.
No. Can't happen.
Are you happy about like you feel good about that?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah.
Who wants to quit when you love what you do?
Yeah.
How do you love what you do?
I am okay with what I do because there's a reward, and I'm going to pay for a house
Yeah.
that I hadn't planned on.
Yeah, I planned on another 30 years.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but no, I think I would rather be busy working instead of trying to find busy work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if not, I'm going to find stuff for you to do. Pops.
Yeah.
I mean, we got
With houses to build,
Yeah.
compounds to maintain,
we got trees to plant, we got gardens to plant,
deer to kill.
deer to kill.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the concluding thought.
And I don't want to be a gopher because Terrell would say, "Hey, Dad, can you go for this and go for that?" I need
Do that too. I'm trying to keep you healthy. Young and
That's
healthy.
what Marshall's for. You just got to get him a farmer's driver's permit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If I can get if I can get at least one kid driving, that would change the game for us.
Yeah.
Change the game for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else on your mind, Padre?
No, I'm happy with life. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy with how he turned out
Yeah, I'm
So far.
so far?
well pleased.
Where do you rank him amongst the pastors you've sat under?
Incomparable. He's the best.
He's the best. Okay.
He said in combo. Okay, write that down.
We'll take it.
I'll
There
take
you
that.
go.
But and you've seen people in the church what they think of it.
He's not.
Hey,
he doesn't.
he's the reason we're at Mosaic. So yeah.
Well, that makes me feel special, Padre Amos. That makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're the only person I've ever called my pastor besides my dad.
Really?
Yep.
Me and your dad are very different too.
They are. Should have you and him together on a podcast.
Be part time. Be a wild ride.
Oh, God.
Be a wild ride.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
it was good to hear some stories, Padre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I don't normally sit around and get to hear.
there's more stories because this industry that I'm in now is my second career. I had 30 years in a whole different industry.
Part two.
Part two.
We would love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right now.
All right. It was fun.